be a 30-second delay here. So I am looking forward to hearing what you are talking about on Facebook because I'm actually very curious.
I will let you guys know for sure.
But I was listening to the Always Open podcast from Rooster Teeth, and they were talking about how their families kind of how their families kind of reacted to their weird jobs they've all said they had, and it was kind of touching, all the stuff they were talking about, and about how, you know, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, it doesn't matter what else, just do what makes you happy and just go for it. So
that's really cool. That's really cool.
And
yeah, no, I saw your post. I started laughing when I saw it because I'm like, that is just like completely perfect for right now.
Trust me, after a long week and all this forced overtime, or not, I guess not forced, but peer pressured overtime at work, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where it's like, it's really nice to kind of see that and know that, you know, there is better, and we'll get into that. We'll get into that. So we are now currently live. Hey everybody, welcome to a new experiment on the E-Vac Station channel. This is called Spoiler Warning. So normally we have a podcast called Party Up this week. I'm taking a break from that, mostly because I wasn't sure the tech issues are going to work since we had so many issues last week and we were just like showing off videos. This week we'll be basically just showing you images and little clips maybe for movies. This week we're going to talk nothing about movies because frankly it's a little easier and I can focus on discussion. And if you do not like this, I apologize in advance, and we will definitely do something different next week. This is just kind of because we all saw Wonder Woman, and I think we wanted to do this for Guardians of the Galaxy, but never had the opportunity to. And I think
which I'm surprised, because I think we all saw it, and it was amazing.
Well, I think we talked about Guardians of the Galaxy a little bit during another podcast. We never dedicated a whole podcast to it. We're not going to have a whole podcast to Wonder Woman, but a good majority of it will be to Wonder Woman.
We did.
But we'll probably bring up Guardians of the Galaxy a little bit, probably Logan a little bit. We'll definitely talk about the future movies coming up, such as Thor, Spiderman, and the Justice League later this year. And then, of course, we will also have a mini hype train because movie trailers did come out, and unfortunately, because of E3 last week, we didn't really get a chance to see those. So this week, it's nothing but movies. If you do not like that, again, come back next week for video games. And yeah. A quick bit of intros, though. Ryan is currently being revived. He had a power surge at his place. He'll be back on in a minute. But Aaron is back after about a week's hiatus. Aaron, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Also, if you're hearing this jingling, it's because Aladdin has decided to grace me with his presence, and he wants to play with his toy. So you also might hear bird chatter on this end.
I'm going to turn off... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
He's literally, well, now he's dangling from it, but he's leaping after his toy. It's really funny. Hi.
So I'm going to turn off the cover. So I had a cover here. It's basically the title image from the, or it's the thumbnail that you saw on YouTube. I'm going to show you. Basically, we're going to have various clips of Wonder Woman-esque stuff, including clips or images from her game appearances, TV show, comic book, animated stuff, movie appearances, basically anything Wonder Woman I put in a slideshow to kind of just give us a bunch of different Wonder Woman things to look at. And it changes about every 2 minutes, so you're not going to see the same image for very long. So if you want to see them all, feel free to. Yeah, that's
Gotta
that.
catch them Wonder Woman.
So we're not going to do too heavy news, but I did want to bring up that Pokemon Go did have a huge update recently, or it's going under major updates. So for those who don't remember... basically, in Pokemon Go, you went to gyms, but if you went to a gym, you see like a guy with 5,000 CP, pretty much just sitting there, and no one could really touch him unless you paid a lot of money to make it happen. So the developers of the game decided they'd change things up a little bit. So it sounds like they're going to switch it over to something called Horde Battles or Raid Battles.
It's raid battles.
Yep.
I've been reading up on this. I can definitely do an update on this if you want.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you probably know more about it than I do. I've never really been in the gym scene, so I just kind of ignored it.
Are we just doing the update on it while we're waiting for Ryan to get back on?
Yeah, just a quick update's fine.
Okay, yeah, so the gym stuff is going to be big at this point, so they've increased the amount of gyms that are in your area, first of all. Second of all, gyms are going to also be a Pokestop, so when you get there, you can turn it, get your Pokeballs or whatever you need. There's also rumors that there's going to be special items if you spin the Pokestops at the gyms. So I'm hearing more berries and stuff will be coming out. You can no longer fill the gyms with Charizards. You can only put one Pokemon of a type in the gym, so it'll be 6 different Pokemon. There are 6 slots. Doesn't matter your level, I believe. If there's an open slot, you put your Pokemon there. And there's something new called Motivation that's starting that I haven't seen a lot of information about, so that should be coming out soon. There's also raids that you can team up with other members of your team and take over a gym, and you can get special badges and prestige awards and things like that. There's a new icon on Pokemon Go where you can list the badges that you get from certain gyms when you win them or take them over. There's also rumors that actually Niantic said this themselves, that for people who play Pokemon Go like every day or so, may end up getting invited to like special events that could potentially mean fighting legendaries. I know some of the raids you could potentially fight legendaries as well. People who only play like once a week or something may not get invited to those. You have a better chance if you keep playing the game. So I guess that might be part of the motivation thing. The other big thing going on is the Chicago events. So they're celebrating Pokemon Go and
is that this
having
week or next week?
That's July 22nd.
Oh, okay, so it's a ways down the road.
Yeah. But when they put the tickets out for sale, they sold out in about 6 minutes. So if you didn't get your ticket,
familiar.
Yeah, if you didn't get your ticket, you ain't going. But it sounds like Niantic's going to open up stuff for people who can't go to the event so they can still get some special things on that day. It's in Chicago, and basically there's special events going on. There's special items and Pokemon you can get. They also are going to open up lounges for teams, so you can sit with your team members and get, introduce yourself and all that. So, yeah, Pokemon Go has a lot of big updates coming. Right now, they've rolled out the update where a lot of stuff has updated on the Android and iPhone, but gyms are still under construction. You still can't get into them, unfortunately.
Hey, that's fine as long as I can keep catching the fire Pokemon that have been going around recently. I evolved Charmander finally, and
Nice.
I also caught and evolved Cyndaquil at 1 level, which I'm happy for.
I did that. The fight ice just ended yesterday.
Okay, I was gonna say I still saw some fire Pokemon around today, so I didn't know if it was still going on another day or something.
It ended later this day because I saw them too, and I saw them up until about 5 o'clock, and then it just ended.
Gotcha.
So,
okay. Well, now I was gonna say. So now I'm at a point where I think my Quilava has 73 or 75 candies to work with. I need to basically walk it for 25 more candies.
Nice. My god.
I'm sure that'll be a shit ton faster than this fucking Magikarp I've had for like 6 months now.
Yeah, I at least have a Gyarados, but I haven't gotten a shiny Magikarp just yet, unfortunately.
Oh, wait, they brought shinies back in the game?
Yeah, there's shiny Gyarados and shiny Magikarp as far as I know.
Okay,
Those are the only shiny that I'm aware of.
So, you didn't play the original game, so there's actually a bit of did you know stuff going here, a little fun fact. So, the Pokemon that were introduced recently, the Gen 2 Pokemon, there was a storyline in these Gen 2 games where, basically, I like how we made this a movie discussion podcast and we're talking about video games. Whatever.
I know, right?
Whatever. So, in Gen 2...
We'll put on him.
In Gen 2, there's a side story or main plot, like, tangent, basically, where in the town of Mahogany, they name all their cities after colors. I'm sure you're somewhat familiar with.
Kind of figured.
But there's a town called Mahogany, and you go there, and there's a lake up north of it called Lake Rage, and it's called so because it is home to Gyarados and Magikarp. And Team Rocket has done some crazy experiment where they forced a Magikarp to evolve with non-natural means, and it became.
Oh no!
And when it evolved, it turned into Gyarados, but it retained its reddish color from when it was a Magikarp. So that's
cool.
So that's what the original shiny concept came from. I think because of that, they introduced shinies for all Pokemon, and in the original generation, because of the limited color palette, they kind of had to make some unique designs back then. But because the color palettes are so varied now, basically shiny Pokemon now aren't quite as interesting to look at, but they definitely have better textures. So it's interesting, but there's a little bit of design history there for you.
That's kind of cool. I didn't know that, but I didn't see. I mean, I've seen some of the show. I did watch the entire first season, and I've been watching a little bit of XY and Z. And I've seen different things here.
Oh my god, you're so into it. You're watching the cartoon show. That's hilarious.
Yes, I am. I am.
I'm not gonna judge you. I'm not gonna judge you because I've watched the show, but I do it just to yell at Ash for being a fucking idiot.
He is a fucking idiot, but he's also a 12-year-old or 10-year-old. So can you blame him for being a fucking idiot?
No.
Yes.
Actually, he's supposed to be 10 in the beginning, but he's been Pokemon training since, like, what, 98? He should be, like, fucking 21 right now.
I know. I think they said that he's technically only, like, may have gotten to, like, 16. That.
The worst part is he's got Bart Simpson syndrome. He's been around for a billion years, but it hasn't aged a single day.
I can't wait though when the Sun and Moon episodes come out in either sub or in English, because one of the characters has the Aloha Vulpix as her partner, and I'm like shitting myself. I'm so excited because I love Vulpix. Vulpix and Ninetales were the first ones that I wanted to get so badly. And when this fire and ice thing started, I was freaking out because everywhere I turned, I got Vulpix, and I was so happy.
All right, so Ryan, we've stalled long enough. You're alive.
I am indeed alive. Sorry about that. The power decided to do a hiccup on me, and I was like, oh, okay.
So before we get too deep into this, let's do a quick shout out to our sponsors this week. I remembered this week to put a link in there for our newest sponsor. So guys, if you like cats and you like coffee and you want to support a potential chance for a cat cafe, the first cat cafe in the great state of Iowa, you should go over to the Cat Cafe, Mystic Meow, catcafe.com. The link is in the description. You can sign up for their newsletter, and she will keep you up to date on all the comings and goings of it. It sounds like she is planning to get that Kickstarter going here before too long. I think probably end of summer is about the time I would expect it, but I'm not going to necessarily lock it down for that either, because it's not my thing, it's her thing. So I'll keep you updated as best I can, but she will keep you better updated with that newsletter. So get some cats, get some coffee at the Mystic Meow catcafe.com.
Go, Amanda! Woo!
Also, because we have to get this other sponsor out of the way, guys, ladies too, actually, this is important. Everyone here likes to be clean. Everyone here likes to feel fresh. And some days, you just don't want to go to the store to deal with that. And you definitely don't want to go to the store to pay $45 billion for whatever Gillette calls the razor these days. So... So what you should do is join a very exclusive club. And by exclusive, I mean anyone can join it. And by club, I mean the DollarShaveClub. For only a few bucks a month, you can go to DollarShaveClub.com/evac station. You can shave your arms, your legs, your face. You can shave the cat if you really want to, but I'm sure some people wouldn't appreciate that. But I will tell you this much, though. These razors are good quality for only a few bucks a month. And it's worth your time. And why aren't you there yet? Why aren't you part of this club? Come on. I mean...
They're also not sexist.
They're totally not sexist. You can use them for anything, on anyone. I mean, just go for it. Just don't cut other people. That's probably not a good thing.
I'm loving all of these disclaimers we got to throw in there.
I mean, we get a little outlandish here, so some disclaimers are important. So you shouldn't throw these razors at people. You shouldn't cut other people with them. But you should definitely cut yourself with them. And by that, I mean your face. And by your face, I mean the beard you have going on. Gotta clarify that a little bit.
To not cut yourself.
If it's an accident, I'm not going to judge you, though. I'm not going to judge an accident. I cut myself a little bit sometimes I'm shaving. It hurts, but, you know, it happens. I'm not perfect. So DollarShaveClub.com/evac station. That was a long-winded advertisement there, so we're going to move on real quick. So this week, as everyone has already been told, but we will go over one more time since Ryan's not here, this is a new brand of the podcast, so to speak. It's called Spoiler Warning. We're going to talk about movies, primarily. I know we talked about Pokemon, but shut up. We had to delay because Ryan wasn't here.
Sorry!
But no, we're going to be talking about movies. As you can see the sides of the new frame I got here, we have different movies throughout the year. We will be rotating those images out when we talk about new movies. If you do not like this brand, this spin-off, we will not do this again. But if you do like it, we would love to keep going at it, because we all love movies here, right, guys? Movies are fun.
Absolutely.
Woo!
So we will be talking about movies in the future if you guys so desire it. Big movies obviously would include stuff like, say, Thor or Star Wars or Planet of the Apes or Dark Tower. Any of that stuff come out later this year. I feel bad we haven't started this sooner because we missed big stuff like Get Out and Guardians and all that stuff. But I think going forward this would be kind of fun to do. And it also eases me from having to play a game every week because, let's face it, I can't do XCOM every week. You guys will get bored of that. I would get bored of that after a while. I love XCOM, but I'd get bored of that. So this is a way to shake things up, have some fun. And, yeah, if you don't like it, again, I apologize in advance. Just let us know in the comments below what you want to see, and we might make some changes. Or we might just, murder Ryan. We'll find out. Anyway.
Wait, don't do that.
We will not murder Ryan.
Please don't do that.
I can't promise anything.
Protest.
Can't promise anything.
I protest.
Anyway, so let's move on to today's main topic, Wonder Woman.
Yay!
So, guys, before we even get into the synopsis here, let's just do general thoughts on the film. Good, bad, okay, horrible.
Excellent.
Quick question: are we going to do weekly checkups? Because I'd like to hear.
You're right. I forgot all the weekly checkups. Let's we got a little distracted. Let's do a quick, brief little weekly checkup. Max isn't here. This should be really easy. So, who wants? Oh, Max isn't here though. Who's going to go first?
Not I. Fingers on the nose.
Damn it.
Well, Ryan, you were late, so I guess you owe us one.
That's fair. Okay. Well, let's see. The week has been mostly okay. There was a slight medical scare with the young lady that I am seeing.
Oh, we want details. So what happened?
I
mean, you don't have to get too personal, but just give us the gist of it.
In a nutshell, we had a date on Sunday, which went great, except for the fact that she was kind of losing her breath a little bit easily, and she was getting a little freaked out. So the day afterwards, she decided to go to the emergency room just to get checked out, and they found a couple of blood clots where it shouldn't be. So, yeah. So she spent a couple of days in the hospital, freaked me the fuck out. But she's back home now, so all is well. Hopefully, I'll be able to see her again this weekend. She's supposed to come by my house. I'm going to cook her some dinner. We're going to play some board games with my roommate and possibly one of his friends. But beyond that, yes, everything's going great. We've had 3.5 dates.
And a half?
I'm counting when I went up and had lunch with her by her office as a half date.
Okay.
Yeah, but beyond that, it's been a lot of fun. We're both having a great time. I think we click really well. Our last date, we went to this great place in Chicago. If you're a gamer and you're in Chicago, you already know about Dice Dojo. But we went to Dice Dojo. They have a huge board game library that is completely free and open to the public. You can essentially just come in and pick up a game off the wall and play. And me and her played board games for 3 hours. Time kind of flew past before we realized, holy shit, it's 10:30 and we need something to eat. So yeah, everything's going pretty awesome. I'm really excited about that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, aside from the hospital scare, everything's going great.
What's healing to her?
Well, assuming that she hasn't, like suddenly disappeared or you haven't murdered her yet, Ryan. When Amanda and I swing by town one of these days, hopefully soon, we've been thinking about a trip in August of some kind to venture out to Chicago or one of the other neighboring Midwest states. So we will let you know for sure. But whenever we're in the area, and if she's still around, we need to do some kind of double date thing.
All right. I will definitely run that past in the future. Absolutely.
By the way, WizardCon is in Chicago in August. I'm actually going to be working there for Whimsical Whisker. So if you go at that time, we could see each other too.
Oh, snap. WizardCon. Okay.
Yes.
What weekend is that?
I think it's the weekend of the 24th of August.
Okay, that might be doable because I know the first week or 2 weeks are going to be busy just for the fact that we're going to be getting the move finished and everything. So can't promise that. But week 24th, I might be able to swing that.
Yeah, I have to double check, but I think, as far as I know, we are attending, and it's the weekend of the 24th. Let me check my calendar real quick. I may have actually put it in there, which would be amazing. 24th, 25th, 26th, WizardCon in Chicago.
All right, I will run that by Amanda, and we will see. But of course, we also need to figure out our budget for that going forward and everything else. But I'll keep you guys well informed as to what's going on.
Shit, that might be really cool.
Oh, that'd be really awesome to see you guys.
Little surprise last minute trip there.
Yeah.
Well, we were I guess I'll do my weekly checkup real quick because it kind of tied into it already. But no, I asked her about it a while ago because we've been busy. This month in particular, we've been busy because we have a reunion and a wedding this weekend coming up that we've been preparing for.
Gosh.
Literally one day after another. And then we have the move in late July we're packing everything for. I haven't done much packing the past couple weeks because a lot of the stuff I'm still using. But starting this week, since we only have a month left, we're going to be really pushing to get all that out of here. We actually have less than a month at this point because we're moving the 20th. So, yeah.
Oh, my God.
That time flies fast, man.
It really does. It really does. So we are basically going to be busy between this week until we're there. So a nice little trip in August or September, looking to be more August if that's the case, would be kind of nice. Just get away from everything and just enjoy some time together and maybe see some people, all that stuff. So we'll see.
That'll be right before the busy season for me. So that'll be nice to kind of escape before I'm, stuck in working hours upon hours upon hours.
No, I hear you. But aside from that, though, I've been doing a lot of writing. I am on chapter 22 or 23. I have to look. Let me see real quick.
Nice.
But I am very near the end. The reason I'm delaying a little bit this particular chapter, so I've had this idea for a chapter for a long-ass time. I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys, but to sum it up in words that make sense, so that way you guys can kind of see what I'm getting at here. Imagine a character has gone through some great tragedy, and they are suddenly flung into a Silent Hill / Dark Souls-esque type world where they must where they must deal with their guilt and or tragedy, basically. And there's some character reveal stuff going on, and there's some action bits that happen. It's got a lot of stuff that's going on all at once.
Ooh, I know where this takes place.
And I'm really excited to get this rolling because I've been wanting to do this. This is a chapter I had planned out before I even wrote the rest of the book. I actually think I wrote this chapter in an earlier draft with the original main character I had, and I had to tweak a bunch of it to fit this main character because, I guess to make things simple, the main character in the original draft, Ryan, was Ethan. You've seen him a little bit already.
Really?
Yep. Originally, he was the main character, and I made some major overhauls since then, as you can tell. But when he was the original character, his motivation for taking on this life and taking on this adventure was because he wanted to challenge himself and see the world. He didn't want to be stuck in the same rut that his father and such were before him. And so the theme behind his horror world, so to speak, was that he kind of had like monsters that dug trenches, ants that kind of just worked and were like kind of autonomous in what they did, zombies that just had no mind and just shuffled along. Basically, things that didn't have any sort of autonomy, so to speak. And it was kind of a cool concept, and I really liked it. I just switched characters, and because her whole thing's remorse and guilt and the burden of all this stuff weighing on her, I feel like the monsters I picked for this particular theme fit so much better and sound so much cooler. So I'm happy with what I got so far.
All right.
But yeah, it's a brief little blip in the overall story, and it's a nice little shake-up, I think, from the what's going on with the rest of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing your thoughts on it when you get to it. It'll be a little while still, but I'm hoping in this.
I know I'm on like chapter 6.
No, I know. I haven't even gotten this chapter finished yet, so it'll probably actually be a 3-parter. It starts off in one chapter at the very end. It'll be the majority of a second chapter and finish up in a 3rd chapter. It's a lot of stuff happening all at once. So, but it's definitely a lot of fun and right. Aside from that, that's about it, which is a lot, honestly. So I'm gonna stop here. And Aaron, why don't you take over from here?
Okay. Life's been busy, of course. I missed the last couple of weeks because of either Writer's House stuff or it's just been crazy busy. I've been working at Rare, the Raptor Center, for several weeks now.
Yeah, we're talking like raptors, like birds of prey, not raptors as in velociraptors.
Yeah. Exactly, raptors, birds of prey.
You got my hopes up.
I know. I'm sorry.
I know, right? I almost believed it too, Ryan.
We also have non-raptors as well, so like baby starlings and bunnies and all kinds of other little babies. We had a little Canadian goose for a while there who was freaking adorable and fuzzy as hell. But I'm learning a lot there. I actually was taught how to give the birds fluids, and I was in charge of hand feeding them chopped up mice, which was actually pretty interesting, especially when you're staring at a great horned owl, an adult great horned owl or a red-tailed hawk, because them beaks are huge. But it's been awesome, and I love it, and I'm always happy when I talk about it. It just, it gives me purpose, more or less, and which is leading up into, Aaron, you had made a post about,
Oh, yeah. I can give a little backstory to people who are probably wondering what the hell you're talking about. Right. So, at work today, as usual, I was a little bit, just not feeling it. I don't like my job. I'm not going to even hide that at all.
Yep.
But, I was listening to a podcast from Rooster Teeth. It's the Always Open podcast, and I really like it. I didn't think I would like it at first, but it actually has grown on me quite a bit. In this episode, they had Jessica Negri on there, and they were talking about basically how they got into the professions they got into and what it was like going into them, with their family, and just kind of was it stressful or anything. And the basic consensus they came to is it doesn't matter what you want to do, just do what makes you happy. And if you're doing anything less than that, you are wasting your time. And I really took those words to heart because I'm like, I don't like the job I'm in, but I love writing, I love doing this YouTube stuff, and I kind of want to push for this stuff more. Obviously, it does not pay the bills right now, but I'm working on it. Anyway.
Well, you posted that today, and it was really funny to see that because over the last few days, I've been considering about going back to school to become either a vet tech or a veterinarian specializing in exotic birds. Because we don't have a lot of bird vets around here. There are 2. There are 2 that I know of that actually can take care of birds. And after doing some of the really intense stuff with Rare especially this past weekend, it's made me I want to do this. This would be amazing to actually work with animals, help animals, take care of them, and it won't kill my soul like my current job is doing. And I'm not giving up the writing passion by any means. I still plan to write. I still want to be a published author. But, I mean, like it or not, writers have to make a living. And I'd rather make a living doing something that I really like, which would be working with animals and helping them, than having to do something that I don't necessarily believe in. So yeah, I'm looking into going back to school.
That's pretty awesome.
Dude, that's fantastic.
So we'll see how it goes. I even did help do an exam this weekend on a great horned owl, and that included, holding its head and turning it from side to side, looking at its mouth, checking its eyes, gently pulling its wings out, and I found a compound fracture on its wing. And it was just, God, obviously I felt bad for the bird, because I mean, holy shit, that's painful. But it was amazing and fascinating to just see this and try to work with this bird and try to help make her feel better. And she was so powerful. I was holding her legs, and we had a glove over her face because the darkness will calm them down. And she would try to kick free, and her legs were so powerful. It was incredible. And the talons, oh my God, they were almost as long as my pinky. They got some powerful talons. You do not want to get caught by those. But it's just, I'm really passionate about animals, and ever since starting with this group, all I've been wanting to do is like research and learn more about birds and animals and anatomy and stuff like that. So I figure if that's what interests me and if that's what I want to do, then I should look into it.
Absolutely. Girl, abso-fucking-lutely. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you.
You'll have to keep us posted on that one.
Oh, yeah, I'll keep you updated. I don't know. It may just be a momentary, this would be awesome to do, and I don't follow through. But I'm already in contact with people who do work as vet techs or have gone through the program, and they're offering advice and information. And to be a vet tech, it's 2 years. To be a veterinarian, it's 8. So I could be a vet tech and then work my way up to being a veterinarian if I want to go that route and actually do something that's, just more passionate. I'd be much more passionate about that.
Yeah, I hear you. I got a buddy of mine who has been trying to get me to work with him for a while, but the only issue is the job he has will require me to go back to school. And I don't want to go back to school right now. I've got enough stuff going on as it is. I don't have time for it. But one of these days I might go back to it just to get some basic stuff out of the way. Because but right now it's on my plate. I have, since graduating, gotten the mentality of I want to do things and not just sit and learn how to do things. So
I totally understand. Like, I totally get that, and I agree with you. I mean, people were saying I should go back to school to get a master's, an MFA, and I'm like, what am I going to do with it? I mean, yes, I want to write and I want to get published, but honestly, I can make more connections by going to like the Pikes Peak Writing Convention and doing what I'm doing with the Writers House and that kind of stuff than by, wasting a bunch of money going to get an MFA and possibly not making any connections at all. The last time I was really in school for a long time, I was a teacher for 3 months and I couldn't be the student again. I'm at the point where I have a mentor through Rare who's helping me, and I'm ready to be the student again. Like, I'm eager and hungry to learn. So that's a good sign.
Well, speaking of self-improvement, and empowerment and all that stuff, let's get to Wonder Woman.
Damn straight.
So we've been playing this a little bit here. We're already, 33 minutes in. So let's go ahead and roll right into it. So first off, guys, let's just get the basics out of the way. We already, good, bad. Did this save DC, or is DC still doomed? What do you guys think?
I loved the movie. I don't know if it's enough to save DC. I mean, honestly.
No, I know that's optimistic. It's very optimistic.
It depends on whether or not this is a sign of the new direction that they're gonna take their stories, or if this was just fuck it, we might as well do it because we haven't done anything that works yet. So. I mean,
that second one feels like the typical Warner Brothers style.
It
Agreed.
really does, honestly. If we go back to and for the majority, what you call it, Justice League is just about completely done anyway. So there's really no hope of like that being changed any drastically from Zack Snyder's original concept. But if the movies that follow the same fucking format as Man of Steel, as fucking Justice, then fuck it, write them off. We got one great Wonder Woman movie. I can take that and put that with, you know, Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy as those rare gems of the DC universe, and that's it. That's my thoughts.
I would say, so I saw it last night, and packed theater and everything. I would say that I don't know if it necessarily saved DC, but it definitely got my... Whoops! Sorry, phone fell. It definitely got my attention. Orion, relax. Because, honestly, after Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, I was fucking done with DC.
That bar was set so low.
It was too much. And, like, I haven't always been a huge fan of Wonder Woman. It's just, I don't know. I've never liked how they portrayed her, I guess.
I think it might be because they've never really tried to portray her beyond just being the girl of the group.
Exactly. I feel that's the problem that I've had with it. So I was like, with it coming out, and I didn't have high expectations because of the last two movies. But then I watched it, and I'm like, okay, first of all, the movie moves. It's got a good pace to it, where I wasn't checking my watch to see if it was almost over. Like, I wanted more, and I haven't felt that with a DC movie in a long time.
And there was color. So much color.
Yeah, color. And it was funny. There was fucking humor in it. And it wasn't, like, dry humor. It was humor. It was like they took a page out of Marvel's book and put fucking humor in the damn movie.
So now there I will disagree with you, because I feel like
I want to roll off this tangent real quick before Ryan dumps all over this.
Go.
So I'm going to agree with Aaron to an extent. I do feel like they've actually taken a page from Marvel's playbook. Not necessarily the whole play, but they've the director of this movie and the producers of this movie saw what made Marvel work, and not necessarily copied them, but just said, okay, so let's maybe make things not so opposite of them, and just kind of compromise and make something that actually feels like it's from the comic. And they did a good job with that. And more importantly, I think that if we're going to compare this to anything Marvel-related, ignore anything after the first Avengers. It's definitely on par with the Phase 1 films, without question. Which is fair. It's the first Wonder Woman, it's the origin story, so it makes sense. So I would say if we're going to compare it to anything Marvel, definitely Phase 1 Marvel movies, which, again, is still leagues above what we've had since for a while now on DC's part. So that's saying something.
Yes.
Anyway,
Ryan, you were going to dump on this.
No. It's not that I'm going to dump on it. It's that I agree with the humor point, and definitely it was like the levity in there was definitely needed, and the use of color, which I'll bring up later, because I feel like the director knew the big ass criticism of DC movies, and then she turned it on its head in one scene. But we'll get to that.
Yeah,
of course.
Like we'll get to that. I think the biggest thing that stuck out to me for the whole feel of the movie is that the director looked at Wonder Woman, looked at DC, us like outside of the scope of this whole Marvel versus DC race. I feel like this is the first DC movie that was made without even thinking about Marvel. Instead, it just focused on being itself, on being true to its own story and having a sense of originality, which, lo and behold, is what actually made Marvel movies work so well. Ha ha ha.
Well, when you think about it, though, Man of Steel was made to compete with Marvel, but also to not be the original Superman, which is why that one failed so hard. And then Batman vs Superman was just trying to be Avengers before they even had all the stuff put together. So yeah, a standalone film that actually is able to carry its own weight and do some really good stuff. Not only refreshing, but it's exactly what they needed to be doing this whole time.
Seriously.
They needed that. This is a breath of fresh air. I felt like I was suffocating with the other two movies. They were unpleasant. They were dark. They were dreary. They made me like just not happy.
Now,
and then you see this, and it's like, holy shit. Like, I was smiling walking out of a DC movie. What the fuck just happened?
now, I know there are fans of the Batman vs. Superman and Man of Steel. Yes, there are fans. I'm going to acknowledge they exist. I'm not going to say they're horrible people. But what I will say is I will compromise by saying those films have good moments. Very seldom, but there are good moments and good ideas in place, but just lots of sloppy, poor execution. But this film lands it on both ends. So this is definitely a good example of where DC needs to start going and start kind of shying away from the just ham-fisted way they've been doing things. So
right. The other ones are just they're. I understand wanting to be serious. Christopher Nolan's Batman film. There was seriousness in there, but it wasn't completely dark and dreary. Versus the new Batman Superman, it is dredged in seriousness, darkness, and like there's no freaking light or hope. I don't feel that at all. Whereas with Wonder Woman, you know, now I have something to look forward to. Instead of sitting in a movie for 2.5 hours feeling like my depression's going to consume me. And I know people like them. Like, I know there are people who like Batman versus Superman, and you know, if you do, great. I'm happy for you. You're more than welcome to like them. This is just my opinion. I refuse to watch them again. Unless I'm going to make fun of them, then I'll watch them.
Oh, I totally intend to make fun of them. I watch them again. That's the only reason. It's the same way I watched Dragon Ball Evolution, to make fun of it the whole way through.
My dad and I were making fun of Batman Superman while we were watching the movie. Granted, it was a bit better than Man of Steel. But he and I were both just like calling shit as we were watching it.
Oh yeah, no. So I'm assuming that now we've gotten our opinions out of the way. Ryan, you're usually the best at this. How would you like to give the audience a synopsis of what the fuck we watched?
Oh man, so you want to do a whole recap of the movie?
I mean, you don't have to detail every little bit, but just give them a little bit, so that way they kind of at least know where we're coming from and what we're going to focus on.
Okay. Well, the general synopsis of the movie focuses on the origin story of Wonder Woman, which is really it's had a lot of iterations, but we've got one like solid telling now, which I thought was fantastic. And it's been a minute since I saw the movie, so bear with me.
Well, I can help here real quick. If I recall, the origins kind of lifted from the New 52, or the newest iteration of the comics, where basically she is told she's been made of clay by her mother. There's a plot twist, which we'll get into later in the synopsis, but basically she's told she's made of clay, and that there is a... I'll leave it at that. That's basically the origin, what we have for so far.
Yeah, essentially the gods made mankind, but Ares was hating on mankind and was poisoning their hearts with thoughts of war and like conflict and getting them to turn on each other. So Zeus created the Amazons to help guide them through and be voices of reason and compassion. But humanity turned on the Amazons as well, as Ares turned on Zeus simultaneously. A huge fight ensued. Zeus used the last of his power to kind of banish Ares or like severely wound Ares and hide the Amazons on their own little island away from the realms of man. where they stayed for a couple of centuries. And Diana, which was the first and only child, or like the first like baby on the fucking island, because I can't speak, was told, she was told, the mascara, was told that she was made out of clay, and was told the story of the Amazons and how Zeus gave them a weapon to fight Ares should he ever return. And it was alluded that the weapon to fight this god was this sword. So her mother, who is the queen of the Amazons, wanted to keep Diana from fighting and keep her safe and secure and whatnot. But Diana wanted to fight so badly that she would sneak out and watch the Amazon warriors practice. And so they finally gave in and trained her to be like the greatest Amazon warrior of all time. When lo and behold, World War I happens, and people stumble upon the island. Enter Chris Pine's character, Steve. What the hell was his last name?
Steve Trevor.
Steve Trevor.
Yeah.
I'm doing this too long. Steve Trevor crash lands in the breaches essentially the bubble of this island, and inadvertently brings more people to discover the island. A huge battle ensues. The Germans show up on the island. A huge battle ensues between the Amazons and the Germans. The Amazons win, but unfortunately, Diana's aunt. Yeah. Some casualties happen, and it's very, very, very sad. Where they interrogate the hell out of Chris Pine's character when they find out that currently there is a war to end all wars happening going on.
Wait till he sees the sequel.
Yeah. Oh God. Diana, of course, thinks this is Ares coming back, the war to end all wars, and like we're sitting here on this island and we have the weapon to defeat him. We have to go out, leave our shell, and go do what we were meant to do. The queen's hesitant. She absolutely doesn't want to do this, so Diana takes it upon herself to leave with Steve Trevor, go out into this new world, find Ares, and slay him.
Feels very reminiscent of Thor and Odin's little spaff in the first movie.
Not really.
Well, it does a little bit. He wants to go fight a war and and bring the fight to the Frost Giants. And Odin's like, dude, no, we're staying here. Just fuck off with your shit.
I feel like Diana was a little more.
Oh no, her reasons are far more valid, and her
a little more altruistic.
Yeah, she wasn't being an arrogant asshole.
No. It's definitely the difference there, but the dynamic is very similar. With the youthful person wanting to venture out and go do that, whereas the older person's like, no, you're staying here. Yeah,
but at least Diana kind of went with her mother's blessing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she let her go
versus like, fuck off.
Odin was just like, fuck you, and took away his power and sent him to Earth.
So the rest of the movie essentially is Diana and Steve Trevor essentially making their way through the battlefields of World War I. Steve's trying to get intel back to his commanding officers so that they can be better informed of this new deadly mustard gas that the Germans are developing. Meanwhile, Diana, who is super duper duper naive, is thinking, okay, I just have to find Ares and kill him, and then the war will be over. So they're both trying to go about their goals, and they both grow. Diana really grows up throughout the course of the movie when she figures out that war is definitely a more complex issue than just, if I kill this one dude, then everything will be okay. And she overcomes a lot and grows up a tremendous amount in a very short amount of time. Throughout a lot of tragedy. and whatnot. And then the twist happens. She figures out exactly what the God Killer is and where her origin lies.
We can probably detail that a bit more. I mean, we are called this is called spoiler warning, so everyone's been warned.
Spoiler warning. All right. Well, spoiler warning is when she what's that?
I said go for it, Ryan.
Right. Well, when she finally meets Ares face to face, she swings the sword at him. He instantly destroys it, like not even batting an eyelash. And she's stunned because, of course, well, this was the weapon that's supposed to kill the god. He says, that's not the God Killer. You are. Because only a god can kill a god. Which is why Zeus created you from your mother's womb. So you're essentially Diana's a demigod. Diana's a demigod, and was their only weapon to fight Ares should he ever come back.
I want to just point out here, I called that out the minute they brought up the God Killer weapon when we were watching the movie.
Oh yeah. No. It was done well, but it wasn't done. It was still obvious.
Oh yeah.
That sword is not the god slaying weapon, is it?
That sword's just a big fancy butter knife.
That's just a really nice looking sword. I mean, that's it. That's all we got.
It was pretty. I also had a feeling I knew who the villain was the moment he popped on the screen.
Oh yeah,
no, I called that shit too.
I was like, that's him. That's
yeah, it's you.
So funny. It's a funny story. So when we were watching the movie, I turned over to Amanda, and after their first conversation with that guy, because I wanted to hear the whole conversation first. After the first conversation with the British dude, I turned to her and I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna bet you $5 he's actually Ares and not the other fucker. And she's like, oh yeah, probably. And lo and behold, we were absolutely right.
I actually, during the scene where like he was being nice and offering, money and all that, I looked at my friend and I'm like, could he be our president instead? And then I paused and went, oh wait, no, he's probably the bad guy. Oh hey, look, he's the bad guy.
But yeah, the whole movie essentially is a flashback. It starts with an armored truck delivering something to the Louvre in Paris, and where it turns out that's actually where Diana works in present day. And when she opens it, she sees this framed picture of her standing with her 4 other dudes, like in fucking World War I, with Steve, Trevor, and the rest of the gang. And from there, she starts reminiscing about her whole story. So it's a great flashback origin story, very well set up, and I thought it was very well told. Yeah.
I mean, it was so good.
All right, so this is a whole new format for us here. We haven't really done a spoiler cast like this before. So I guess the question I want to ask you guys then is, what direction do you want to take this here? Do you want to do like a discussion of what worked and what didn't? Do we want to do a discussion of all the like little Easter eggs? Where do we want to go from here? Since we just did the synopsis.
We can talk about the big things that worked for us most.
All right, let's start with what worked, and then we can move on to
favorite parts of the movies that you love.
Yep. So this next section we'll be talking about what worked for the film, what we all liked, and then after that we'll switch over to the stuff that didn't quite work, but one thing at a time. So guys, what worked on the film for you?
I just got done talking a lot, so Aaron, go first.
Fair enough.
Okay, I can go.
Okay.
Unless do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I mean, you're already talking. You go first.
One of the Aaron say something.
Well, the humor definitely worked for me. I thought that casting Chris Pine as, the love interest, I think he did such a fantastic job.
Really
and there was a connection between the two of them. They did really good in camera together. And I think that's what helped make the movie, especially since Steve Trevor was really funny in it.
This movie actually sold me on Chris Pine. I always enjoy seeing him in things, but this one he really shined.
He did.
I think they gave him a lot to work with, and he was just like, okay, let's make it work, and he did a good job with it.
I definitely liked him in this more than I like the Star Trek movies, don't get me wrong, but I definitely liked his acting in this a lot more, and his character more than in the Star Trek movies.
Absolutely.
To be fair, I think he is trying to channel a little William Shatner into his portrayal of the character. So that
Agreed.
might be part of it.
Yeah, I told my friend, when we walked out of the theater, I told her that, yeah, I think I like him better in this movie because he's not an arrogant asshole half the time. But, yeah, I mean, that stuff worked. The action scenes were awesome. I loved how they filmed it, honestly, especially showing her, like, slowing it down a little bit so you could really see her movement. I thought was a cool feature on there. And I know this is probably a goofy thing to bring up, but I've read so many reviews on this. When she landed, her thigh actually jiggled. It was normal. It was normal for the thigh to jiggle when she
Jiggle
landed.
physics.
Yes, there was jiggle physics. And the Amazon.
I think that's just IRL physics, guys.
I know, right? Also, the Amazons weren't bean poles. They had mixed figures. You had the tall, slightly thinner ones. You had the shorter, heavier ones.
Oh
Like
my
they were
God, the tall, old black Amazon at the beginning, just beating the shit out of people. I was done. I was out.
I know. They had Amazons of different colors, different races. I loved it. It made it very diverse, made me very happy to see that. And also the soundtrack for it was really good. I like the music. And the God on God. Yeah. The God on God fight scene was awesome. I think one of my favorite scenes, honestly, and this is probably really small, but when they're in the village and you have one of their comrades singing inside and she and Steve are outside just dancing together in the snow, and it was just a really happy, pleasant moment that you don't tend to have in the DC movies anymore. It was just really refreshing to have that.
It was so good.
So I want to tangent off that real quick.
Go for it.
So there's a lot of good things happening in this film that we could talk about. The two things I want to address the most before we get too far are the characters, specifically Wonder Woman and the gentleman she accompanies into the war with. So for her, she is probably the most well-rounded superhero character I think we've seen in film thus far, with some exceptions possibly. But we see moments of her actually, being very smart, very, very strong, but also being very naive, very vulnerable, and she goes through this whole spectrum like she's actually a real fucking person. She's not just, a one-note...
She has a character arc.
Yes.
Shit.
And we don't get a lot of those. I mean, sure, we could go, say, for example, on Iron Man, he has a bit of an arc where he starts off as an arrogant playboy who realizes he's got to be more responsible, to then suddenly getting PTSD, to almost ending the world. But in that case, though, I feel like his examples are a little cartoonishly extreme. Not bad by any means. He's still entertaining as shit. But I just feel like some of those turns he makes aren't quite as realistic or as believable as what we see Wonder Woman go through. And she's not even fucking human.
Plus, he's still an arrogant asshole playboy.
Oh yeah, he never changed on that one. But yeah, no, so as far as I'm concerned, she's probably one of the more believable comic book superhero film adaptations I've seen in terms of character. With Star-Lord possibly being up there along with her with the most recent film, but we can talk about that later. But yeah, no, so that alone sold me because Batman and Superman failed so hard on that part. But the other, and far more important thing, I think, is that her supporting characters weren't just, cardboard cutout little bitches. They were actually pretty decently developed characters. She actually conversed with them, got to learn about them. We got to learn about them. And they're not characters that are going to spin off into their own thing like Sabretooth or fucking Vulture or whatever. No, they're actually going to be just these guys who are in this one war, this one film. They may make an appearance in the next one, but aside from that, we probably won't see them ever again because that's their story. That's who they are. But we got to learn a good amount about them. They all felt like real people who were in this war, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is just a really good character movie. Like, just they did a good job writing them all, acting them all. It was spot on. Trevor, all the three other dudes, all of them. It was great.
I actually had a conversation with my friend about this movie, and he made a really good point. Shouts out to you, Devin, if you ever listen to this, which you probably won't. But he's when I talked to him about it, he said the biggest thing for me personally between DC and Marvel is that Marvel's really, really good at this kind of saga building where they can tell all of these stories and these big things happen that reverberate throughout the entirety of the universe. So it's like, if something happens to Captain America, everybody's like, holy shit, Captain America just got shot. And that affects everybody like in the universe.
Well, the best
DC,
example of that too would be the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. That affected a lot of shit.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Whereas DC's always been, like, comic book wise, has always been more centered around character stories and telling real like character arcs and dealing with like overarching ideals as opposed to like this wide-spanning universal epic that they're building. And I feel like for the past couple of movies, with the exception of the Nolan Batman trilogy, because it's all been about Batman's character growth through those three movies, with the exception of those three movies, DC has been so focused on building this huge cinematic universe to rival Marvel's that they've completely missed the shit they're really good at, which is telling a great character story. And I feel like Wonder Woman is the first DC movie to actually get back to that. So I definitely agree with what you're saying. Character arc. Everybody had believable character arcs and stories. They were well-rounded, three-dimensional people. When they clashed, you could understand exactly where the other people were coming from. I mean, Diana and Steve had a bunch of arguments in the movie, but you could understand where both of them were coming from.
And neither of them were wrong. They were both right about what they were talking about.
I mean, it's if I don't see that becoming the main trend in the DC cinematic universe,
with the next
because
film being
they
Justice
have
League?
to build Justice League again.
The next film is Justice League. That ain't gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. But if we can get The Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman, all of these standalone movies that are coming, if we could get some real fucking character work, like the character work we've seen in Wonder Woman, they might be able to pull it back. They might be able to actually make something respectable.
I really don't want to see Flash, the movie. I have such low expectations right now. Like,
are they planning on doing Flash the movie?
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
There's another director set down yet.
They just haven't figured out who's gonna fucking direct it yet.
How about you do an origin movie before you do the fucking, Justice League?
Why not just lift Flash from the TV show and you've done all the work already? It's over.
There you go. Exactly.
Like, that would honestly be the preferred Flash anyway. He's already proven he's the best at it.
It's like I've heard people make the argument that they're trying to save Grant Gustin and all the TV DC stuff for a Crisis on Infinite Earths type thing.
I read that rumor. I think I told you about that rumor.
Yeah, I know. I'm just bringing it up because I think it's valid to bring up here, but still, man, fuck.
I would love it if I would love it if DC's films continue to be so bad that they're like, okay, initiate plan Final Crisis, and Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then they just do it, and it's like, oh shit, it was a play all along. Those clever bastards. But that's giving them way too much credit.
They're never going to be able to play it off like that. Oh god, no.
Like, Kevin Feige couldn't pull that off, and he's a fucking genius.
God.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Aaron. I jumped all in the middle of yours.
No. You actually played off what I was saying really well, and I think that really sums up what I was saying for the most part. Is that for the most part, every character here feels really fleshed out and good. And if you want character writing or just character development 101, this is a really strong film to go with. Not the best film, maybe, but it's a strong one to go with.
Yeah.
Ryan, what about you?
All right. Well, I mean, first of all, I agree with everything you guys just said. And just as a quick hop back to the humor, did you guys know that scene in the boat where like their first night from the boat, taking the boat from Themyscira, did you know that's all ad-libbed?
Are you serious?
That was all improv.
That is amazing.
Which makes that scene 10 times better.
It was so amazing. Funny too. Yeah.
It was already funny as hell, but the fact that they came up with that on the spot was fan-fucking-tastic. I could not tell. It was just so well done. But I want to say that the biggest thing that I loved about this movie is that they let their hero be heroic. It's a novel thought, I know, but
not only that though, but she wanted to be a hero. It wasn't like Batman, like, oh, I don't want to do this, or Superman, where he's like, debating whether he should or shouldn't. She's like, fuck it, I'm going in there. I'm going to save some people.
And and that was, I mean, like her naivete played a part in that as well. But I mean, at the end of the day, and especially they chose to juxtapose it with World War I. So they didn't shy away. This is DC. This is how you do fucking grim. You put people in World War I. You expose her, who has had a sheltered upbringing her entire life. You expose her to the real horrors of war and the harsh realities of humanity. Where Steve's sitting there look, this is all horrible and awful, but we have a job to do. We can't save everybody. We don't have the power to do that. The best thing we can do is to go get this information to that person so that we can hope to stop this. And to not shy away from that, to show the PTSD, to show the people who are left without a home and the horrors of war, and then have someone say, in spite of all of that, I am going to do something to stop this. And the biggest fucking scene in the trenches, where it's literally the biggest flash of color, where she steps from the trenches and she's got her fucking outfit on, and it's all blue and red and gold against this stark gray backdrop. It's like the director knew exactly what the fuck she was doing. She's like, we're going to turn this whole thing on its head and say, yes, the world is shitty, but the hero that we have is going to do whatever she can to make it good. And then she single-handedly forces
so refreshing.
It was so well done. If we could just have that more often.
Yeah.
So we should probably talk about that scene a bit, because that's a really good scene. The whole fight from the trenches to the fucking church tower, that whole segment there was amazing.
It was so well done. Just thematically, fucking from a cinematographic standpoint, just the whole thing, the action sequence, the fucking CGI, everything. I loved it. Somebody else say something.
And I thought the slow-mo was going to be too much. I remember watching the trailers, I'm like, oh man, this is just heavy with slow-mo. But when you actually see the scene, it does get a little heavy at near the end. But overall, it's not really that big a deal. It actually fits pretty well for the most part. It's generally used to show things that would otherwise be way too quick for anyone to actually catch.
Agreed. Yeah. I also, and this is a complaint I've had with Captain America, where it's like, he runs around with his shield, everybody's shooting at the shield, but not his legs, which are unprotected. Diana has armor on her legs, and you saw some bullets ricochet and actually hit her leg, so they were doing more than just shooting at her shield, which just made her even more badass to me.
Well, and what's funny too is that if you remember in Civil War, didn't Tony tell Spider-Man to go for Cap's legs? So I mean,
Yes,
you're not wrong.
Yes, he did.
You're not wrong.
I love that Marvel was able to poke fun at themselves, like in that one instance. They're like, he also told me to aim for your legs. Your shield, get out of here.
That was awesome. That was so awesome. That scene. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say back to Wonder Woman, but if you wanted to finish that up real quick.
No, I was going back to Wonder Woman actually.
Okay.
I was just gonna say especially with the bullets like bouncing off of her shield, that added so much color too. I mean, it's just like fireworks going off of her shield, and I also, I think one of the things that really hit me that I loved was the fact that when she kills who she thinks is Ares and War doesn't stop, and she's just kind of like, this is going back to her growth and being an actual freaking character. I mean, you can just see the heartbreak and dismay of everything that I believed in is wrong. And yet then there's this mortal, there's Steve, who's just like, I'm still going to do what I believe in. And yeah, I'm probably going to die, but it's what I got to do. And that juxtaposition was just awesome.
I thought it was. I thought that whole ending sequence was fantastically done. I mean, you can see her world like reeling when she's like, "Nope, I killed Ares, so all war should stop. Why are you still fighting? Why are you still about to poison everybody? Wait, what?
And that
what do you mean the problem might be with humanity? Oh dear God!
And that feeds into the naivety problem that she kind of had to start with. And not, I guess I wouldn't call it a problem, but it's part of her character, and it's endearing. I like it because it's like, you really thought this would work, and I can't say I respect it, but I think it's something that you wouldn't see other characters really do because most of them are just so pessimistic and down. They would just believe it wouldn't be possible to start with. The fact that she believed it was possible to begin with was just really good, and she still tries. She doesn't give up either. She keeps going.
Yeah.
I also love that Steve had like hit this wall of like her naivete before, and like understood where it was coming from, but he's like, I can't sit here and explain to her that the world is that fucked up. But then at that last scene, he has to sit there and he's like, look, maybe humanity is fucked up, but it's not about what humanity deserves. It's about what you believe in and about trying to do right in spite of all of the fucked up things. And that's why I think Steve is definitely the second best character in this movie, aside from Diana, who stole the fuck
hands down.
But Steve did such a good job of his character because he got to portray, in my opinion, true human heroism. Because he is this guy who lies and steals and kills people and does all of this stuff. And he's been exposed to all of the horrible things that humanity has to offer. But in spite of that all, he still holds true to his beliefs. He still tries to do the most good that he can. And it's this guy, this spy who lies second nature, trying to explain to a demigod like the what it means to be a hero, essentially. And it was so well done. It was just so good.
Can I just add to that? I have expected Steve to live. I have expected him to make it out of this movie, and for them to just forcibly put a relationship in there and be like, oh, okay, that's the cliche bullshit we always get. But I was genuinely relieved when they not only like steered away from that, but they killed off his character to make that fucking impossible. Yes, agreed. Like, don't get me wrong. They were a good couple. They were great together. Yeah. But but this is Wonder Woman. You don't force that kind of shit on her, okay? She's her own thing.
Yeah. Also, two things that I also want to bring up. One, I loved his quote to her where he said, "I'll save the world, or I'll save today, but you save the world."
Oh, that was so good.
That was amazing. Also, and this is going to seem goofy, but when they kissed for the first time, she was the one who went in for the kiss first, and that just made me so fucking happy.
That was also a good move. Good move on the director's part there.
Yes.
I loved that. I loved that. Which it spoke to both of their characters as well, because you've got Steve, who's constantly being amazed at the shit that she can actually do. It's just like, all right, so she might be a really good fighter. Oh shit, she's storming a trench by herself. Oh dear God, she just knocked over a fucking tank. Oh dear God, she just blew up the building. What are we doing here? Maybe this girl can end the war with just killing one person. So I really like that interplay, that little part of their relationship coming to play as well.
Yeah.
I've got a few fun facts here for you, courtesy of IMDb. I sort of bring these up real quick for you. So this is the first female-dominant superhero film in 12 years since Elektra.
Are you serious? Holy shit!
Well, think about Elektra.
This is also the first female.
Wasn't that a male director?
This is the first female-directed live-action film to have a $100 million plus budget. The first film's estimated budget was $150 million. It's also the first female directed film, I believe, to have as high an opening weekend as it did. So that's pretty damn impressive. What else do I have here? Patty Jenkins is the first female, or is the first woman to direct a superhero film with a female protagonist. And I had one other one here that would look interesting. Here's the opening weekend one. More details than that. With an opening weekend of $103 million, this film marked the highest U.S. opening for a female director. Previous record was held by 50 Shades of Grey director Sam Taylor Johnson.
Don't compare it to 50 Shades. Dear God.
Well, it's not so much comparing it to the movie, but to the box office. And the last fact...
I might just have to go and throw up for a second.
And the last fact for this little segment here, this is the first DC Expanded Universe film with a 90% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's awesome.
Isn't this the highest rated superhero movie in Rotten Tomatoes?
I'm not seeing that on here, but it's quite possible.
I'm pretty sure. I can't call any Marvel movie that's gotten a 90%.
Maybe the first
like
Iron Man?
Maybe Winter Soldier. Maybe.
Anyway, do we have any other positives you want to talk about the film, or do we want to move on to the next bit?
There's so many positives. I just really like it. I really love the way they did this movie.
This is definitely one that we're going to be talking about for a long-ass time, probably.
Yes, I want to go back and see it.
I have one more comment that I want to make about what I liked, but I'll do it for the end because I feel like it's a more all-encompassing thing. It'll be a good thing to wrap on.
I do have one more positive.
Okay.
Just real quick. Little Diana was fucking adorable.
She was pretty cute.
She really was.
I won't deny it.
So
she was cute. All right. So we've talked about all the good. Obviously, this movie is not perfect. So where are the faults, guys? Where do you see the problems in this film? And are they things that could be easily fixed in a sequel?
My one complaint with it is I really wish it wasn't the love trope that ended up like driving her to finally fight back and win against Ares. I wish it had been something else,
It's love, Harry. Love.
Exactly. It just that happened, and I'm like, ugh, really, couldn't have been something else that was driving her more.
But
really,
to combat that, I will say, I don't think it was like the romantic love that she may or may not have been feeling for Steve, who just died, but rather an all-encompassing love for humanity because they like the past 20 minutes had been okay. Here's all the worst that humanity has to offer, and then Steve just showed you the best that humanity has to offer. So it's about doing something. It's about what you believe in as a love for humanity in general, as opposed to just
I would say maybe
my life just died, so I'm gonna kill you.
I would say maybe even more of a love for humanity's potential, because she sees that they can do good, and they should be able to, and they will do good given the right circumstances.
Right.
Okay.
And the circumstances that foster the best of that is love, which is what she believes in.
Okay. I can go with that. That makes me actually feel a lot better about it.
Admittedly, I will agree though that line was interesting.
It was interesting. It was interesting. It could. I feel like it could have been made clearer or done better. I am at a loss to tell you exactly how I would have worded it to make it more apparent that that's what she meant. But yes, there definitely could have been a pitfall where it's just like, oh, because I love Steve and now he's dead, and in his memory I will fucking smite you. Yeah, it's just like no.
Yeah. No, but the way you two described it, I like that a lot better. The only other complaint really that I have is I felt like the fight between hers and Ares just lasted too long. But DC has this issue where things just last too long, explosions, all that kind of stuff. Or maybe it was just don't get me wrong, I really love the actor who played Ares, but his speech was just too long and repetitious.
That's a common problem with a lot of the DC villains. Yeah, they like to monologue.
They monologue.
They hella monologue.
You got me monologuing.
I know. It just happened in my head.
Oh, I so can't wait for the sequel. It's gonna be great.
I know. I'm so excited. But honestly, I mean, I got a nitpick to find things that I didn't like about it. Those were two of the main ones that struck me.
All right. I want to air my grievances here. I have shit I want to talk about.
All right, get it.
All right, so I will disagree to an extent. I did not like Ares as the villain.
Oh, really?
So,
okay, in what way?
So he reminds me of the sort of villain problem I've seen in Marvel movies to an extent, where you have the guy who's friendly to your main hero, who's kind of like, I'm going to help you out, and he's kind of, a little more knowledgeable and really what's going on. And then it's like, mask pulls off, I'm the real villain after all. Like we saw in Iron Man the First, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. We're seeing it here again. It was also in Frozen, sort of. But, and I get that that's something you can definitely use. I'm not saying it's a trope you shouldn't ever use, because every different kind of tool, it's a tool in the toolkit. But I've seen it a lot, and I'm not trying to begrudge this movie for it, because I'll see it again somewhere else. I'll complain about it there too. But I would say that for me personally, I was kind of not a fan of seeing the twist here, and I just feel like it didn't really. I don't know. I don't feel like he was the best pick for that. The actor's fine. But one of my big grievances, aside from the fact that it just kind of was a very flat twist, was that once he puts on the armor and once he gets into battle mode, he looks kind of dumb with the fucking face still visible under the helmet.
Agreed.
Yeah, the CGI of that actor's face that didn't work. I will agree with you on that. I don't necessarily agree with your grievances on Ares as a whole, but the CGI of his face under the helmet was not the greatest. It's not the best choice.
Well,
that was pretty.
Well, if you look at the images of Ares in comics and in other shows and whatnot, you don't even see a face. You just see a bunch of black with some red eyes. That could have been a lot easier, a lot cheaper to do, probably. Why don't you just go with that?
Well, and even in the flashback type stuff, he really didn't have a face or anything. All you saw was the helmet.
Take a page from Nick Cage and get that face off.
The fuck out. No, leave. Aaron, you're banned.
That was bad.
Totally worth it.
Shouldn't be laughing.
But you did.
I know. I know.
Going back to what you said about the whole, this person starting off as a friend and then like you're like, oh, surprise, I'm actually the villain. Ha ha ha. Like, yes, I do. I understand that it's definitely something that's been used and used and used, but I felt that it really fit for the movie's overarching narrative of this whole, war is not as cut and dry as it seems, and how I love how it really played off of the juxtaposition with Diana entering in and thinking, okay, so I have to go find the God of War, I have to kill him, and then the war will be over because nobody else wants to do this stuff. And if I kill this one person, then all of the problems will be fixed. I feel like juxtaposing that with a guy who like a lot of wars, can turn around and be your friend and then stab you in the back and like really open you up to all of this this complexity and I thought that twist, it wasn't by any means like well hidden. my personal gripe was that I saw every twist coming like a mile away. I was never actually surprised by the movie, and that's a small gripe because I still loved where they went with it. But I could see, like, all right, well, that guy's Ares. Okay, well, she's obviously the God Killer.
Well,
that makes sense.
And to go off your point, though, with it not being very surprising and it kind of being a lot of things being expected, I think it's just because we've been through this origin story stuff before, and so we kind of know the general path this film's going to take. It may do a few twists here on the idea. It may shake things up a little bit, but we know where it's ultimately going to go and how things are going to play out. So because we've seen that
and that's why it's a minor gripe. It's not, but it by no means like poisons the movie for me. I love where they went with it. I love the directions they went with it. I would have liked to have been surprised, but at the same time, it's a little hard to surprise us with the origin story at this point. But I felt like the twist of him starting out as this guy who's trying his damnedest to broker peace, turning around and being the instigator for the biggest war on the planet, I felt it fit with the overall narrative of the movie and the complex themes they were trying to play out. That's why I liked it.
Agreed, and I'd like to add into that they did another juxtaposition where for Diana, she'd expect Ares to be this hideous, villainous, rude, terrible person, which pretty much was the guy that she thought was Ares. I mean, he's taking the medicine to be super strong to kill. He's obviously has no issues murdering women and children and all this kind of stuff. And then you have the actual Ares who is trying to talk about peace and who's offering them money to help on their quest and all that kind of stuff. So for her, it's like, good and evil are not always what they seem. So I think that was actually kind of a cool twist around with that. Even though we figured we knew who the villain was, the way that they were portrayed and the juxtaposition between who we thought was evil versus who actually was evil, I thought that was very clever.
Yeah. Male Aaron, you were in the midst of saying something.
And now I forgot what it was going to be.
Sorry, I just wanted to bring that up real quick.
If it comes back to me, I'll bring it up.
Okay.
So then, I think we've gone through the majority of the film that we can think of at the moment. So I guess we could probably go here with final thoughts, and then thoughts going into Justice League. So I guess I'll go first then. So my final thoughts on Wonder Woman are that it is definitely the first good step DC has done, I would say, since Dark Knight. I did not like Dark Knight Rises, but that's a whole other discussion. Yeah, it's the first right step I've seen them make in a really long time, and that's refreshing to see. Whether or not this is just one step forward followed by like 10 steps back, we'll see here in August, I think. But until then, yeah, this is definitely a highlight of the year. I don't know if I like it better than Guardians of the Galaxy, but that's also a super unfair comparison because I fucking loved Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's definitely a contender for one of my best films of the year, though. It's definitely up there. So kudos to I gotta find the name again. Patty Jensen, is that what it is? Patty Jensen, Gal Gadot. Kudos to all you guys. Chris Pine, everybody. Y'all did good. Good work. Fine work.
All right, Aaron, what you got?
I just
Patty Jenkins.
It made me...
Patty Jenkins.
Yeah, I knew it was something different for last name. It was really refreshing to finally see a superhero film with a woman, directed by a woman, and the guy didn't have to constantly save the woman. She was actually saving the world, but also learn to like work with a team and everything. I just, from a feminist standpoint, it just made me really happy to see parents bringing their young girls there and realizing you can be the superhero. You don't always have to be the damsel in distress.
Absolutely. All right, so this movie, like I struggled to think why I liked this movie, like why I like this movie so much, and it goes back to this idea of actually like putting your superhero in the midst of one of the most horrific wars and like points in human history, and then having her stand up and say, if I can do something about this right now, then I am going to do it, and her actually taking a stand and being heroic. I will say this is my favorite superhero movie. I won't say it's my favorite comic book movie because I don't like it more than the Marvel movies yet, but as a standalone, I feel like this movie does the best job of exemplifying what it means to be a superhero. And I feel like DC has always leaned more towards telling stories like that, where they see how horrible the world can be, but these people that are more than mortals, that are almost gods, they step up and they combat that darkness with light. Not only their own light, but the light that they know is within humanity. And to actually see DC put out a movie that actually says that, and that actually makes those points and stands by it. All of the other comic book movies, they're doing a great job of being comic book movies. They're really entertaining, they're exciting, they're fast-paced, they tell fantastic stories. But if you want to look at something that actually talks to like the human condition and like gives you like an amazing legend to look towards and like to be inspirational, I feel like Wonder Woman is the best superhero movie out thus far.
And I would say this movie came at a very timely moment too, considering the current political climate, and considering that we also had another strong female-driven film with Logan, with the new X-23 character kind of breaking out as a big role there as well. So, and I think Captain Marvel is next year, isn't it?
No, I think Captain Marvel is 2019.
Oh, you're right. It's another year out. But we have a lot of female superheroes in the works going on. I'd love to see more of that. We have Star Wars. We have fucking Star Wars coming up later this year with Rey coming back in. So,
yay!
Lots of positives to look forward to, and I'm thinking this is a nice little evolution for this comic books mainstream nerd culture going on here. I think it's definitely something we're long overdue for.
And by the way, can I just say, Thank you for not being the type of guys who are like, oh, why are there so many female superheroes now? They're just trying to push it. I appreciate that you guys actually enjoy this.
I really enjoy it, and we can have this conversation another day, but my thing is, I wanna see. I don't want to see women superheroes simply to be women superheroes. I want to see a woman superhero that's really well done.
I was gonna say
that has a really a great depth of character and a fantastically told story that is being driven by a woman. That's what I want to see, and I feel like Wonder Woman did that in spades. Well, absolutely.
And here's the funny thing: going off that, I'm in the same boat basically. I don't care if the main character is a woman, a man, black, white, a monkey, a talking tree, whatever the fuck it is.
I am Groot.
As long as the story is good, as long as you're giving me something that is actually worth watching, and not just two big muscly dudes duking it out because their mom's name is Martha. You're gonna get my attention. You're gonna get my attention. It's gonna be a good movie. But if you don't deliver on just being a good film without the, political, I guess not even political, but just the, you have to be good without the whole female lead, black lead, whatever. You have to just be good on your own merits. That other stuff that gets thrown in there, it just adds more flavor or text to it. It doesn't really necessarily mean that's what makes it good. Just a good story is all you need.
I will partially agree with this. And the reason why is because I definitely believe that representation is important.
Oh no, it's definitely important.
I want to see more African American superheroes. I definitely want to see more women superheroes. I want to see more LGBT superheroes. I want to see more heroes of color. I want to see more heroes of everybody. But the point of the matter is, you can't just have a token superhero to be representational of that race. You want to have a fantastic story that is driven by that person of color, by that woman, by that LGBT person that's running it. So not only do you have somebody that these other people can look towards and be inspired by, but you also have a fantastic story that they get to represent as well. Then the culture and an amazing story get meshed together. And when it's really well done, it's fucking fantastic. Like Luke Cage, like Wonder Woman, just give me more of that. And hopefully, like Black Panther. So I'm hoping and praying. It all looks fantastic. I can't wait to see where we go from here.
Well, speaking of Black Panther, let's move on to our next subject here real quick, because we're at about an hour and 40. Let's try to get to the tail end of this here. So, before we hit Hype Train, which does have a Black Panther trailer in it, so we'll get to that in a minute.
My voice! I'm sorry.
So before we get to that,
I'm so excited.
Well, let's just get a little bit of hype going for the upcoming superhero films that we know we're going to see, and maybe one we'll ignore. So let's start with Spider-Man. That's coming up here July, I want to say 7th. Let me look at the calendar real quick.
2 weeks from now, bruh. It's like 2 weeks!
Yep, July 7th. So, for those who need a little bit of background information, this is the second reboot, so the third overall Spider-Man series. The only difference here is that this actually takes place in the MCU as a joint production of a Sony and Marvel/Disney film, starring Tom Holland back in high school. Looks like it's going to be pretty exciting, guys. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Looks so good.
So excited.
I'm quite hyped for that.
The only thing I'm worried about is just if there's too much Iron Man. The trailer makes it look like there might be too much, but I imagine that what we see in the trailer is the bulk of his scenes.
Yeah.
Because I want this to be a Spider-Man story. I don't want this to be a Spider-Man plus Iron Man story. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I understand, but at the same time, I don't mind all the Iron Man that we're seeing. I mean, it's definitely going to be a Spider-Man story, but Iron Man having like a major role in Spider-Man's life doesn't bother me. It really doesn't.
It's not so much that bothers me, just that I want this to be a film that definitely can stand on its own merits and not just be like, oh, it's good because it's also tied to this and that and that. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Agreed.
Like a good example is Iron Man 1 is great. It stands up on its own perfectly fine. Iron Man 2, it's a middle child of like 5 different films, and it has a lot of trouble staying up on its own 2 feet.
True. I give you that.
So I'm really hoping Spider-Man does not have that issue. I don't think it will, but I'm just hoping that it doesn't, because I have a suspicious feeling it could have that issue. After Spider-Man in July, we will have Justice League in August. I don't remember the exact date. I will look it up real quick. What do you guys think about that?
I mean...
I apologize. November 17th.
I'm gonna see it, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up. I'm gonna see it just to see it. That's what it is. I'm gonna see it just to see what the fuck it's about.
I'm probably not gonna see it opening weekend. I'm gonna wait till I hear back from.
Oh yeah, I won't be seeing it opening weekend. No fuck.
I'm gonna wait to see what reviews say. I'm gonna wait to see what friends say, and if they say it's even worth a look, I will give it a look. But the expectations are really low.
I'm gonna catch a fucking matinee. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a Wednesday or a Thursday when I'm off and just go at like 11 a.m. and be like, all right, fuck, let's see what they're doing.
Like I remember when we watched Wonder Woman, I saw the trailer for it, and I'm like, that CGI for Cyborg's costume still looks like total garbage.
It really does. It really don't look great. It really don't look great.
Like I love Cyborg as a character. I think he's a great character in the comics. I think he's a great character in the Teen Titans cartoon and all that shit. God damn, I don't think he's going to be good in this movie. I don't think you can make a good Cyborg in film. I just think it's too tough.
I think you could. They just didn't.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, my phone was being weird. I'll still go see Justice League. I feel like after watching Wonder Woman, I have a little bit more disgust, or a little less disgust for Justice League. But I'm not gonna have my hopes up.
The problem with it, though, is that she will still be the breakout role of that film, I think. And
yeah,
agreed.
She will.
It'll be weighed down by so much baggage. They're going to have to introduce, I think, 3 or 4 other characters. They're going to have to bring back Superman from the dead because they've already cast him in the film, and you know he's going to come back in the black suit with the mullet and be evil for like 10 minutes. I will bet you $10 right now he comes back in the black suit with the fucking mullet. I guarantee it.
With a mullet, motherfucker? Really? A mullet?
Dude, I remember those 80s comics. They're totally doing that. I guarantee it.
I might cry. If that happens.
I think my eyes might roll out of my fucking head. If he shows up, I swear to God, if he shows up, it better be as a singer. It better be like as the fucking after credits. Oh shit, Cal's back, and that's it. That's all we need. That's it. If you're gonna fucking pull out the Justice League, actually do the Justice League. Just let Superman be dead for a minute. Damn, we know he's coming back. We already know.
Oh yeah. No, it's obvious he's coming back. I just assume it's gonna happen right away because they're trying to rush this shit. Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
Just don't.
Okay. So moving on from that, of course, we have one other big superhero film this year that I think, without question, we're excited for. On November 3rd, so that's actually sooner, Thor Ragnarok.
Oh!
Like, there's really nothing I can say that hasn't already been said. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh my God, a good Thor movie? Yes! My body is ready. My body is ready. that shit.
Now, to be fair, I think the Thor films have been quote unquote good. I don't think they're by any means the best films. I think they're definitely
yeah.
They're definitely in the lower spectrum of Marvel films, but they're still serviceable. So
yes. No, I didn't mean to imply that the Thor movies have been horrible. I will say the Thor movies have been the weakest link of the cinematic universe thus far, and that's mostly because they haven't really figured out how to tell this story yet. But I think they've definitely learned from their missteps. I think throwing Thor into the wider into the wider cosmic universe of Marvel, and getting to fuck around with everybody else out there, and possibly even running into some Guardians. I don't know.
Actually, fun fact for you. So I was listening to another podcast, and apparently, in an interview, Thor had said something about how after he was disappointed with how his second movie went, because it went for the darker, more serious tone, and his comment was something along the lines of, "I kind of wish that our movie could have been more like the Guardians of the Galaxy, because I'd love to do something more fun and hilarious." Lo and behold, the third Thor film is taking plenty of cues from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah,
granted. And I remember earlier when I said when the Ragnarok trailer first came out, and I said it looks good, but I worry that they just essentially said, all right, what's the vibe we've got going for Guardians of the Galaxy? That worked. Let's fucking copy and paste it onto Thor, and hopefully we'll get a really good movie. After seeing Guardians of the Galaxy 2, if Thor Ragnarok is anything like Guardians 2, then holy shit, it's going to be fantastic. So I'm very excited for this.
All right,
I can't wait.
So those are our superhero films for the rest of the year. I'm not going to count Star Wars as a whole different genre, and we'll talk about that kind of stuff later. But for now, guys, let's move on to everyone's favorite part of the show, or at least my favorite part, the hype train.
The fucking hype train.
Let me just adjust what we're capturing here real quick.
Yeah, I gotta log back into it.
Not a problem. Let's see.
If it loads.
Cancel. Let's just go ahead and add that. Display capture thing.
Okay, there we go.
Did we both name ourselves Steve?
Ryan, this is why you're one of my best friends, man. That's the kind of thing we do.
That is freaking amazing. I should have just gone with Wonder Woman.
Damn it. Okay.
Can I change my name?
No, you keep you can change your name to Wonder Woman. I'll think of something else.
Oh no, you both should be Steve Trevor. That's too funny.
Oh shit, that is
sad. Let me capture that. Hang on a second.
Oh man, what was his name?
Add display capture browser, and I don't want browser source. Let's try that one more.
I have a bird sleeping on my chest right now. It's really cute.
That's what I want. There we go. Okay, let's mute the music real quick that I have playing in the background. By the way, for those listening who could hear the music, that was more Miracle of Sound, because I'm still trying to rebuild my library. That's the most complete collection of music I got right now. So, yeah, kudos to Miracle of Sound. All right,
nice.
So first trailer is a movie it's coming out this week. I was short on trailers. I wanted to get a full 4 in there. I figured, I don't think we've talked about this one much. Let's just throw it on there just for the hell of it. So here we go with the first trailer.
Oh, God. Oh, you're making me watch this.
I am making you watch it, Ryan. Consider this an easy kill for you. Admittedly, though, the giant mecha dragon thing's kind of cool. Boo! Oh, it just gets paused there.
YouTube said no. Fuck this. No. YouTube.
Hey, YouTube. Stop fucking around here. Aaron, it says you're pausing it. Is Aaron still alive over there? I think Aaron might have fucked off when she saw this as Transformers.
She's like, oh, fuck this hype train.
Fuck this hype train. Just derail this shit right now. Kill us all.
Seriously, why are we doing Arthenian lore with fucking Transformers? What?
And here's the funny thing. I forgot Transformers was a thing for, like, maybe 6 movies.
Wait, what you mean?
Like, I think I saw the first one, and I might have seen the second one, but I forgot everything else. I don't know anything about anything else after that.
Yeah, no, I saw the first 2 movies.
Did Bumblebee just murder Metal Gear Rex?
No. Shia LaBeouf used to be in these.
Okay, so from what I understand from the premise of this movie so far, is that Optimus Prime goes evil and apparently rips up some shit. Shia LaBeouf makes a cameo and everyone's happy again.
Oh, does he really?
I heard he's supposed to be in this movie a little bit.
No way.
I don't think they're going to get Megan Fox back in, but I'm pretty sure he's coming in for a cameo. Transmorphers. Alright, so that's our first trailer. Yay! Now for the second trailer to get hype and lose your shit over.
Wait, what?
Ryan, I was having a desperate time trying to find 4 trailers. You shut the fuck up and enjoy it. Aaron, you still there?
Yeah, all I'm getting are ads, and I can't hear you guys at all.
Weird. Should we pause it real quick?
Yeah, hang on. Let me try to get into it. It was showing, like, Creature Comfort and some other shit. I don't know what the hell it was.
I was gonna say, there shouldn't have been any... I don't have any advertisements on my end at all.
Hang on. Let me try something. Sorry about that.
It's okay, you're just missing the Olaf's Frozen Adventure trailer.
Okay, I did hear that. Okay.
Are you
So, I'm in. Do I need to tap on anything, or will you?
No, I can get going. You all good?
Okay. I think so. I see Olaf, so...
Alright, do you want me to rewind it at all, or...?
No, I've seen it before, so go for it.
Okay.
Did you click it?
Yep, it's playing on my end. I think it should be playing for Ryan, too.
It's not playing for me. This is weird.
You're cursed. I have to question how he didn't melt from immediate contact with that thing. Alright, so there's your trailer for a short before Coco. Alright, now here's some real... Here are the 2 trailers I was most excited to show you guys. Man, I want a fucking birthday cupcake.
Yes.
Yep, Blumhouse is another spooky film coming this year. This is like, what, their third or fourth good-looking one? Oh, look at the spook!
Oh, shit!
Ryan's getting excited now. He actually likes this one. To be fair, the bar's been set pretty low. Oh, this looks really good. So I'm getting a distinct Groundhog's Day vibe, but I could be wrong here.
Oh, it's absolute.
But I'm wondering, like, how it actually works. Like, is it the same as that one Tom Cruise movie? Oh, fuck! Okay, no lie, though. That's gonna be, like, the worst fucking birthday in her life.
Okay, alright.
Alright, last trailer. Last one. I saved the best for last, Ryan. No lie. Oh, that's so good. They're all like, where the fuck is this Batman guy? Oh, it's just a dog. Oh, wait, there's Batman. So am I the only one else if I'm the only person who thinks it's super awesome that his armor, like, is still all vibranium, so his bolts just bounce off him?
Just pull it.
Oh, that music is so good. Alright, pause it there.
That's some black excellence for your ass right there. I love it.
Alright. So I think Ryan already knows what he's gonna pick. So Ryan, what are you picking here?
Marrying the shit out of Black Panther. Obviously, that's my wife who I'm taking her home, and I'm gonna right by her.
He's committed to that shit.
I will commit to that from here and this day forward. But let's see. Happy Death Day looks fucking fantastic. So we're gonna go on ahead. We're gonna go on ahead and do that on the one night stand because that looks like it'll be a really enjoyable 2 hours. I will friend zone Olaf because it looks so cute and adorable. It looks like something I could take like a little cousin to go see, which would be fun. And we are going to kill Transformers about 8 times over because how dare you sully Arthenian lore with your Transformer bullshit? Who are you? What the fuck is wrong?
It's so good.
That was beautiful.
I'm gonna just concur with Ryan here. I think I pretty much match him point for point. Fuck Transformers. Those guys are assholes. Fucking looking forward to Black Panther and Happy Death Days was a, like out of nowhere trailer I found, and it looked really interesting, so I thought I'd throw it in there. And I'm actually surprised how good it looks. So I'm.
Oh
I
my
think it's
God.
really interesting, and I don't like scary movies.
I feel like it's more of a thriller, honestly. Like I think it's trying to like not be so much scary, but just like, oh hey, look, weird shit's happening, but you know it's coming because you've lived and seen this before already.
True.
It's definitely got some thriller vibe to it, but I love the self-awareness of it. I love the Groundhog Day vibe to it. It's good. It's good. It's good. Especially like that last death scene that they show where like the gas is pouring out of her car and he fucking lights the gas with a fucking birthday candle.
Yeah.
I'm done. I can't.
Worst birthday ever.
It's too good. It's too good.
But yeah, I think it was a very short but very successful hype train there, and honestly, a really fun spoiler warning podcast. What do you guys think? Should we do this again? For the
I liked it.
You like this format? I think it's really interesting. I think it's a nice twist on what we normally do.
Definitely. I enjoy talking in depth about movies that I enjoy.
So, for those who are watching that enjoyed it, please let us know in the comments below, because we would love to know if you like it, because obviously we don't want to do this if you guys aren't enjoying it, but we definitely want to do more of it, because we had fun with it. We'll continue. Our next big one will probably be Spider-Man, right, guys?
Oh.
Yes.
Alright, so expect one of these sometime after Spider-Man. I can't say when, because we have to see it first, obviously, but that'll be our next big one to hit up, and until then, next week, we'll probably either go back to our normal news stuff, or we'll do Party Up, because it's been a couple weeks since we've done that. But we'll definitely see you again next week for more shenanigans here on the E-Vac station. Again, DollarShaveClub.com and the Mystic Meow Cat Cafe.com. All the links are in the description this time around. I didn't forget anything this time, I promise. And, yeah, we'll see you again next week.
Bye.
Bye.